Going to talk about the FICO basic settings, FICO practicals. So before we enter into that, let's talk about the SAP logon issues, like how to get into SAP, how to log into SAP, what are the different parameters you need to know before we log into SAP. So this is the SAP logon pad, or you can call it as SAP GUI. Now, here select the system ID, whatever it is, and click on log on. And the user ID, as we discussed that in our last session, that the client number by default it will be 800 because we will be working on training server. So always the demo clients in SAP is designed with a default number called 800, 810, 811, 812. So presently we are working with 800. Okay. Now the user ID, which will be prepared by your basis administrators. So here I'm going with the user ID, and the password is case sensitive. So we should be careful while giving password. Enter, login. So as you log in, as I discussed in my last session, that we come across with two screens. One is SPRO screen, another one is SAP Easy Access screen. So as we have given user ID password, so first we will be navigating to SAP Easy Access screen. Okay, now this is the SAP Easy Access screen, where you can see on the first line where you find menu, edit, favorites, extra, system, help. This is called menu bar. And the second one where you can see the tick mark in green color and the white color space, this is log off and all. This is called standard toolbar. And where you can see SAP Easy Access, that is called title bar. Where we can see the create role option, that is called application toolbar. And the last where you find 800 my ECC, that is called status bar. So here you are going to get that 4 messages which we discussed earlier, like green, yellow, blue and red. Okay, so these are the 5 different types of bars in SAP. Now let's talk about the white color space, this one. So this is called command field in SAP. So for example, as I was discussed yesterday in the last session, that we have 2 paths to get into SAP screens, nothing but 2 ways or 2 methods of data entry. So one I was talking about the transaction codes, and other one was I was talking about the navigation part or menu part. So that transaction codes you are going to enter here. Okay, for example, if you hit /n, you will exit from the screen. Okay, so like this, these are few transaction codes which we enter into the command field. Okay, now so first we have to do few configurations. So let's see for an example. We'll be talking about an example. See here, simple FICO practicals. Now, for example, if we talk about few ledgers in SAP, like there are sales ledger, purchases, salaries, etc. Right. For example, there is an entry cash sales. So when there is a cash sales, the entry would be cash account data to sales account. For example, amount 50,000. Right. Now, to post this particular journal entry in SAP, we require few configurations to be configured. So basically, there are 3 types of configurations which are called basic settings. So to create this particular ledger or to post this particular account or to post this particular entry, we have to complete 3 settings. So those are divided into 3 basic settings. So almost we will be working with 21 to 22 basic settings altogether. So we can here see enterprise structure settings, financial accounting, general ledger accounting settings. So first we will be completing successfully enterprise structure, then financial, then ledger accounting, general ledger accounting. So here we can see now how to add transaction codes to the favorites. For example, I want to add a transaction called SPRO. So here I can right click on the SAP menu, open folder, or right click. We can see the settings. So in settings, you should see that technical names is ticked because technical names are nothing but transaction codes. Favorites, here we have right click. If you want to insert another folder, insert folder. So directly you can insert a folder. So let's say folder name FICO, enter, like this. Now into this folder you want to add the transaction codes. Yes, you can add it. For example, oh, I'm sorry. So you want to add the folder. Right click, insert transaction. Okay. Now transaction codes, for example, SPRO is one of the transaction code. Enter. So this would be added to your favorites. So in this way, we can add folders to the favorites. We can add transaction codes to the folders created. Now let us do the configuration part. So all the configurations, customizations will have to be done in SPRO screen, which is also called as backend screen. So this is the direct T code to type SPRO over here, and there's a menu path for the same, that is SAP Easy Access, Accounting, Financial Accounting, General Ledger, I'm sorry, General Ledger, Periodic Processing, GL accounts, individual processing. This is called FS00. And we have another way to get into here is information system, general ledger reports. Here you can see the reports. In tools, you can see the tools, like which tool you are using presently. In this way, we can directly get into the T codes. So now I want to get into SPRO. So this is the SPRO screen. So directly give SPRO in the command field and hit enter. So as you hit enter, it will take us to the screen. So here you can see customizing executive project. So in real time, we can see our project name and the project detail in our customizing work list. So as we are not working with any live project over here, so it is not displaying any project list over here. Okay, so in real time we can view here. Then click on SAP reference IMG. IMG here is implementation code, otherwise a shortcut key called F5. So then it will open up IMG. IMG here is customizing screens. So as in our the first session we have learned about SAP advantages, like it has got seamless data in one application, right? So here you can see here in one application itself we can see numerous modules put together: finance, controlling, real estate, enterprise, logistics, sales and distribution, EHS management, materials management, supply chain management, quality management, customer service, production, project, HR, time management, everything under one roof. So this is called a seamless application. So SAP, one of the seamless application where we can work, all the departments can work with under one roof. Now, so as I said, we will be first configuring with enterprise structure. So here we are, enterprise structure, right? Now, SAP itself is a Google. Like we need not Google it and find out something about SAP in Google. Here itself we have got a full documentation. If you remember in our ASAP methodology, we were talking about documentation maintenance by implementation partner in our fourth phase called final preparation. Is it not? Now, here we will be talking about that. So here, this is called documentation. So when you hit on documentation, you will find exactly what is enterprise structure in SAP all about. So here we can learn, we can read it, and it is very much advisable to a student to read this before we configure the further things. Because theory is very important, equal to practical, because we have to know the basic of that, then we will be able to understand the subject wholly, right? So here we have got the enterprise structure definition, right? So as a student, you have to get into this. As a trainer, I have done my job about this. Now I'm going to directly hit on IMG activity, which is nothing but we are going to create it. So before we get into enterprise structure, let's see what is enterprise structure. So enterprise structure is the basic things, or you can say enterprise structure is the baseline for every organizational unit in SAP. Okay, the enterprise structure is a basic for every organizational unit. So here we are going to talk about what exactly is your enterprise structure. Enterprise structure, here we are going to talk about how enterprise structure deals with SAP. How enterprise structure in SAP deals with, and what are the different segments about that we are going to talk about in here. Okay. So enterprise structure is the baseline for every functional consultant. Enterprise structure is a baseline for every functional consultant. It consists of definitions and assignments put together. So here we can see all the SAP definitions and assignments in one application itself. Now, what definition? So as I was talking about definitions nothing but the basic requirements of a company, like company code and all these things we are going to talk about in SAP basic settings. And it shows relationship between two different organizational units. So we are going to talk about two different organizational units in SAP. Okay. So here we can see the documentation about this. Now you can see here. So this is an organizational structure in SAP. So this is how it works out in on the floor. Now first would be client, then company, company code, business area, plant or organization. So, and here we will be working about SAP FICO basic settings. So this is the logon procedure as we have already done with that, right? Now this is the screen which we already done. Then this is the basic settings which we already done. Now from here we are going to talk about. So here. So what is basic settings? Enterprise structure. Now first we will be working with enterprise structure. So it consists of definitions and assignments, and it is the baseline for every functional consultants. So first we will do the first definition called defined company. So as we were discussing in our roles and responsibilities of a functional consultant like FICO. So FICO main role functional consultant is to create company and company code. So here we are going to do that concept. What is a company in SAP terminology? So this is the menu path through which you can reach SAP screen. So and that is a T code through which you can get into SAP. So either ways you can opt it out. So same screen we will be logging into. So menu path is nothing but the navigation part. So first, as we know that we have to do the configurations in backend screen, and the backend screen is termed as SPRO, and then SAP reference IMG, then enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting. So financial accounting, and then you find define company. So same thing we will be doing in the software. So enterprise structure. So here open up with your right key in the keyboard. Then comes definition, open up financial accounting. Then here you can see your company, right? So here we can find two things. One is documentation, IMG activity documentation, and other one is IMG activity. Now first, as a student, please get into documentation and read what exactly is company in SAP terminology. So here you can see a company is an organizational unit in accounting that represents a business organization according to the requirements of commercial law in particular country. So every law has different segments to create a company in SAP terminology, and it will be created according to that particular country's law. So you can see here in depth about company by clicking on the company, which is shown in blue color. So this is very smallest organizational unit for which individual financial statements can be drawn up according to the relevant commercial law, and it consists one or more company codes. So we will be better discussing what is company and company code differentiation in few minutes. Then all company codes within a company must use the same transaction chart of accounts and same fiscal year breakdown. Yes, it would be very needful and helpful if you read this company definition after completing few basic settings. Okay. Now this is the IMG activity where we are going to create or configure a company. So let's click on that, define company. Now on the floor, on the real time of database, when you're working with your company, you won't find anything over here as you click on company, define company. And this is the heading or the state or the title of company, that is internal trading partners overview. Here you will find a blank space. You won't find anything companies like you're seeing now, because it is a training version. You can find out few students data and few SAP standard data. Now you want to create a company, so click on new entries, F5 shortcut key. So can you, like for example, we are going to create a company, right? So let me go with this code or with the company, which throughout the course we will be working with that company things. Okay. So let's say a company called Dell company. Okay. So in SAP, a company is defined with 6-character alphanumeric key. So here the just company itself means a company ID. So here we are working with company ID. So what I am decided is a company called Dell, and for that Dell I'm giving a company ID called Dell 123, which can be given in a 6-character alphanumeric key. So same thing I'm doing over here. And in SAP terminology, company itself means company ID. For example, if it wants to ask you a company name, then it will be particularly asking you like company name as it is here. But when it is saying only company, that means it's a company ID. And very important, if you want to know what exactly is company in SAP terminology, here also you can place cursor on the company and hit F1. And this is also very important. So it says unique company ID. So let us read what is a company ID in SAP. So it is a 6-digit identification key that is unique to each company and it is definable by the user. So we are going to define it now, a 6-character. So as discussed, it is Dell 123. Now my company name is Dell, let's say Private Limited. Okay. Now if it has any company to name, you can write. For example, I can say Dell Inc. Let's example I'm saying. Few companies do have two names. Okay. Then street, for example, in which street it is located. So you can give any street name. So I'm giving, for example, PO box, some code for PO box, postal code, some code, city, in which city you're located. So presently I'm using a city called Hyderabad. In which country you're located. So wherever you find this option, this is called F4 option, a drop down list. So you directly hit F4 from your keyboard or click on that icon. So you will be navigated to the drop down list. So different country codes you can find out over here. So presently we are working with India. So the country code would be IN and it is only 2 alphabet character. So not more than 2. So country is India. So India. Only 2. Okay. Now like that in language. So language, hit F4. So presently we are working with English. So select English. Even that is 2 character. Currency. Currency is 3 character. So presently we are working with INR. So you can directly select INR from here. Hit enter. Okay. So in this way, we are going to complete the company configuration. So company name, name of the company too, street, PO box, postal code, city in which it is this company located, in which country this company is located, what is the currency it is following and what is the language. Then hit Control S to save the data, or directly you can hit over here Control S. Then very important, in SAP, we have to save a data at 2 places. One is in SAP database and one is in client database. So whatever we have saved by clicking Ctrl S, we have saved in client database. Now to save the data in SAP database, this is what we every time get it. This is called TR. TR is transport request, customizing request. So in this request also, the configured data, whatever the data is configured, have to be saved. Now here you can see the maintenance table. This is V underscore T880. SAP will be saved in the particular independent table data, and these tables will be configured by the ABAPs. So every unit in SAP, whatever we configure, will be saved in that particular respective table. So here the table name to save your company is T880. Okay, this is standard. Then here is your request number. So actually in real time, this request number is created by a basis consultant, wherein all your configurations have to be saved in this request number itself. So here this request number can be exhausted and new request can be created. So let me create a new request for our company. So here we can get it, create request, and create it with your own name, own company name. So I am saying that Dell company. So Dell, you can say Dell Private Limited, whatever we have given in our database. Okay, hit enter, hit save. So a new number will be generated for your company, right? Now in this number, all the configurations have to be saved. So what is the use of this request number? At the end, when the data is totally configured in the development server. Once the data have to be transported to quality server, through this request number or through this TR only, the whole data is transported from this server to the quality server, which is totally again a technical job of a basis consultant. So here also we need to save our data. So how to save it? Either you click on this tick mark or hit enter. So when you click here, when you give your acknowledgement over here only, you will get a confirmation message. So here the confirmation message is data saved. That means the particular configuration whatever we have given, the data is saved successfully. Okay. Now, as I was discussing in my last session, that we will come across with 4 types of messages, right? Now we have got a successful message, green color over here, that is data saved. Okay, so we have created our company definition successfully. So we have entered into menu path SPRO, SAP reference IMG, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, and define company. Okay, now let's talk about the another configuration called define credit control area. So what is credit control area? So credit control area in SAP is also an organization unit. As the name itself says, credit control. That means you're going to control the credit parameters which are assigned to your customer master data. So basically this is the configuration in SAP done by an SD consultant to give the credit limits or to grant the credit limits for different scale of customers. So here the credit control area is also defined with 4 characters alphanumeric key which have to be configured and assigned to the company code. Okay, so same thing we are going to do in SAP here. So define credit control area. Okay. Same path. So here, once you complete this, hit go back or hit F3. So you'll be going back to the screen. So here itself you can see define credit control area. So before we configure it, let us check it out. What is credit control area according to SAP? So you define credit control areas. Credit control area is an organizational unit that specifies and checks a credit limit for customers. So let's see what is credit control area. So it is an organizational unit, an area responsible for granting and monitoring credit. So let's configure that. Click on IMG activity. Click on new entries. So unlike the company ID which is created with 6-character alphanumeric key, credit control area is created with 4-character alphanumeric key. So the maximum character which you can create in credit control area is 4-character alphanumeric key. So here we are going to work with 4-character alphanumeric key. So let's define 4-character. Let's say del 2. Okay, and let's give currency as INR and update. This is a standard code given by SAP, that is 4/12, which indicates open order value on time axis, delivery and bill document value. Standard it is. And V3 over here, sorry, FI variant over here is fiscal year variant. So in SAP terminology, fiscal year variant is V3 standard. V3 means financial year. FY means financial year. So in SAP terminology, financial year is defined with V3 and V3 indicates April to March. Okay. This we will be learning in depth in our next sessions about fiscal year variant. So this is a configuration which have to be configured right now in credit control area. Enter and save. So as I said, for each unit you have to save your data in the request and the database, and it will be saved in that particular table. If you observe, the table name over here is T014. So credit control area codes will be saved in the table name called T014, and it is saved in your request. Hit enter over here. So you got a confirmation message that data saved successfully. So we have done successfully the second definition also. Now let's talk about the third definition or the third configuration. Define business area. So in SAP terminology, business area is nothing but the branches or locations of a company. So what are the business locations of your company? Business areas or business or locations or branches. Now here also business area is also defined with 4-character alphanumeric key. So let's define 4 characters alphanumeric key and following the menu path. So go back F3. So we can see here define business area, and the documentation for the same is you create business area. A business area is an organizational unit within accounting that represents a separate area of operations or responsibilities in a business organization. And it is defined with 4-character alphanumeric key and the name of the business area. So here you can see a unit in an enterprise that groups product and market combinations as homogeneously as possible for the purpose of developing unified business policy. Nothing but it is your particular location point. So click on ING activity, new entries. So let's say we have business, one is in India and other one is, let's say, United Kingdom, UK. Okay. So let's say DELI India, or let's say Dell in India, and let's say DEL U or DE UK. Let's say Dell in UK. So like this, you can create more than minimum 1 and maximum 16 business areas for one company code. So as if now I'm just going with 2 business areas itself. I'm limiting myself with two business areas, but yes, you can configure with 16 business areas. Enter save. So yes, and the table name for the business area is TGSB, and here you're going to save your data in your request. So hit enter. When you hit enter, it will be saved and you get a confirmation message that data saved. Now next configuration we are going to work is define functional area. So what exactly is functional area in SAP? Functional area means the functions which are carried out in that particular business area. So what are the functions? So which functions? Nothing but operations. For example, production, service, sales and service, administration, management, everything. So what are the different operations carried out in that particular business area? So this is also defined with 4 characters alphanumeric key. So we'll be entering into the menu path of that. So go back. So when you hit go back or F3, you'll be navigated to the backend screens. So define functional area, we can see here documentation. So you create your functional areas like typical functional area: sales, production, marketing, administration, research and development. So what is a functional area? It is an organizational unit in accounting that classifies the expenses of an organization by its functions, such as administration, sales, marketing and all. So let's configure this configuration. ING activity, new entries. So let's say, so as if now, as we are not working with any live BBP over here, so we have to make a note of these codes. so that it is required in the further sessions or in the further configurations. And so in real time, what happens is we will have BPP with us. So seeing that BPP, we have to enter the codes given by the client. But here, as we don't have any live BPP with us, so I'm going with the my own codes. So you can also go with the same thing, but please make a note of that codes. So let's say I have three functional areas: production center, sales and service, and administration. So it is also defined with 4-character key and the name or the description for the same. Enter and save. So it is saved in TFKB table name, and here you're going to save it in your request. Data saved. Now the next configuration here is define consolidation business area. So as the name itself says, consolidation business area. Nothing but here we are going to consolidate all our business areas into one. So we have, for example, as I said, we can go with 16 business areas, right? So all the 16 business areas can be consolidated into one business area. What is the reason behind it, or what is the main importance of this consolidated business area? Yes. If you want to view your total company's turnover or total company's profitability analysis, then yes, we are going to work out with this consolidated business area code. Now, for example, if as a CEO wants to check a business area wise the profitability or the turnover or the net worth, then he will be searching with that particular area code, business area code. And consolidated is like nothing but consolidating all your business together and viewing as a whole. So for one company code, we create one consolidated business area code. So here we are, maintain consolidated business area code. Hit the documentation. So you create consolidated business areas, and a consolidated business area is an accounting organizational unit that represents a central business segment within a business organization. So it is a central code. So central business code that has a balance sheet which can be included a business area. So if you see as a company, the whole company into one, we prepare a consolidated balance sheet. And for each individual business area, there will be a separate balance sheet which is called a standalone balance sheet. So let's create it. So you can see the consolidated business area code is also defined with 4-character alphanumeric key. So click on IMG activity, new entries. So as I said, it is also defined with 4 characters. Let me go with DECB. And the description for the same is I'm giving consolidated business area, and I'm just giving your company name, Dell Private Company. Okay, we said limited, right? So let us go with the same wordings. Limited, save. So it will be saved in TGSBK. Enter. We got a confirmation message that data saved. FM area. Define FM area. So what exactly is FM area? FM area here in SAP terminology means financial management area. So what exactly is financial management area and how it is used in SAP? So a financial management area is nothing but it is a code configured and used well when you are bifurcating your cash budget management and funds budget management. If you remember, or if you're well known about this, a company's financial reports, one of the financial report of a company is cash flow statement, right? Apart from your balance sheet, P&L account, cash flow statement is one of the financial report. So here, to create your cash flow statement, or to separate your cash flow statement and funds flow statement, you're going to use this code, financial management area code. Okay, so let's get into the menu part of this, or configuration part. So maintain FM area. So when we get into documentation of this, we can see here, you create your financial management areas, and FM area is an organizational unit in accounting which structures the business organization from the perspective of cash budget management and funds budget management. Okay, and here, what is exactly a FM area? Okay. So it says FM area 0001 is already created in SAP standard system. Yes, already it will be there. But yes, if you want to create it your own thing, then yes, create FM areas using a 4-digit key. So we are going to work with 4-digit key over here, and define a name and FM area currency for each FM area. Okay. So let's configure a 4-digit FM area code. Maintain FM area. So menu path is same thing, SPRO. So let me navigate you from the first. So here we are. So SPRO, or directly as you have inserted your transaction code to your favorites and to your FICO folder. So let's get into the SPRO screen over there directly. SPRO, SAP reference IMG. Enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting. Then here you can see maintain FM area. Click on IMG activity. New entries. Okay, so as I was discussing that even FM area in SAP terminology can be defined with 4-character alphanumeric key. So DEFM. Yeah, you can use the alphanumeric or only alphabets or only numerals also. No worries in that. So DEFM and FM area for Dell Private Limited. I'm just using here shortcut because there we have a text with a limited characters. I think maximum 40 characters. Then currency INR. Enter. Save. Enter. So for one company code, we can create only one FM area code. Now, next configuration. Very, very important configuration for a FICO consultant. So the main core responsibility of a FICO consultant is to create company and company code. So successfully we have created company definition, right? Now we are going to create a company code definition. So company code is very much different and very much important. So before we get into company code, let's have a small example to know what exactly is company code in SAP. For example, let us say a Tata company, okay, or a Wipro company. So in SAP terminology, a company, main company, is called as a group company. So Tata company is a group company or the main company, and that is called company ID in SAP, or that is called company in SAP, which we have done in the very first step. Define company. So where there we define a group company, Tata company, let's say, and that company is, as we did it, we have to give it for 4 characters, 6 characters alphanumeric key. So which we have given Dell 123. So here, for example, I'm going with Tata 12. So basically, a group company in SAP terminology is termed as company ID, and we defined it with 6 characters alphanumeric key. Okay. Now, company codes are nothing but the operations or the diversifications of the Tata. The diversifications of the Tata. So we know what are the different diversifications of a Tata company, like Tata Steel, TCS, that is consultancy services, is it not? One second. Yeah. So transactions, consultancy services, Tata Mobiles, Tata Motors, Tata Salt, and you have many more segregations of Tata, right? So those segregations or those bifurcations of a Tata company in SAP terminology are called as company codes. So here the company code is defined with 4-character alphanumeric key. And for one company, and this is my one company, right? Main company. For one company, there can be n number of company codes. And in SAP terminology, each company code is defined with a different ID. For example, TCS is defined with TCS1, TCS1 or TA12, Tata Motors TA13, Tata Steels TA14. Like that, you can define it, company code. So this is a good definition, good assignment. And a simple example I can say for the company and company code is parent company and a child company. So here Tata company is a parent company, and these are the company codes which are nothing but child company. So for one parent, there can be n number of children. So that is why in a statement it is, for one company, there can be n number of company codes. But for one company, there cannot. A parent can have a number of children, but a child cannot have a number of parents. Okay. So this is the bifurcation of your company code and company. Company and company code are two different entities. Company is defined with 6-character alphanumeric key in SAP accountings, and company code is defined with 4-character alphanumeric key. And for one company, there can be n number of company codes, right? And each company code has to be assigned to different units. So let's define that company over here. So it is edit, delete, company code. So here we are going to do that. Edit, copy, delete, check company code. So here company code configuration will be done. Very important thing, as I said, edit, copy, delete, check company code. You can see the documentation. It is one of the highest level of unit actually. Company code is an organizational unit used in accounting. It is used to structure the business organization from a financial accounting perspective. So the main core of financial accounting is company code. So we usually in real time, we copy it from the existing company codes. So here we can see it is the smallest organizational unit of financial accounting, for which a complete self-contained set of accounts can be drawn up for the purpose of external reporting. As I said, for each bifurcation, a separate set of accounts are maintained. For example, let us say Tata TCS. TCS in the whole will have a separate set of accounts. Like that Tata Motors, you will have a separate set of accounts. This includes recording of all relevant transactions and generating all supporting documents required for financial statements. So we can create as many as company codes for each company defined. So let's go with the company code definition. Click on ING activity. Double click on edit company code data. So it is very usual practice that we don't create company code in SAP. We either copy it or we edit it. So double click on edit company code data, new entries. So let us define our company code as Dell1. And let's say what is a company name over here? Nothing but Dell mm, services. Okay, it is one of the bifurcation. In which city it is located? Hyderabad. So in any application or in any screen, whichever field is flagged with a tick mark, that's a mandatory field. That means while configuration of this or while configuration of this particular screen in the backend, they have made it a required entry. We will also see how we can also make few fields as a mandatory fields. So here we can see currency flagged with tick mark, right? So this is a mandatory field. So unless and until we configure currency code in your company code definition, the data will not be saved. So country is IN as we know, and currency is INR, and the language which we are going for is English. Enter. Oh my god. So it says an already entered because already might be somebody already practiced with the same code. So let us say Del 8 is our company code. Okay. Save. So in real time, we have to give the complete details of this company. Okay. Dell services. So we are going to work with Dell services. So we are going to, have a data over here, particular data, which we have to complete before we get into the other configuration. Because when we complete this particular company code configuration itself, then only we are going to complete the total definitions part of enterprise structure. Without the company code definition, enterprise structure is incomplete. So as per each project, a FICO consultant, the main responsibility is to create a company code. Without that, it is incomplete. So successfully, we are able to create the company code. So with this, we have completed our definitions part of enterprise structure. Okay, so remaining the assignment, that is a part 2 of your enterprise structure, we will be continuing in the next session. Thank you for the day. Have a nice day.